first thing is just give us your name. What's your name?
Is that my whole name?
Your whole name.
Nobody knows what my whole name.
Is that a secret?
Lena Pearl Martin.
Okay. What's your favorite passage of scripture or Bible story and why?
John 3:16.
Do you know why you like that passage so much?
I don't know. I guess this was one of the first ones I learned.
When did you start coming to Gethsemane Church of Christ?
When I was a baby.
Okay. So what made you stay at Gethsemane all these years? You've come to Gethsemane your entire life, correct?
Right.
What made you stay at Gethsemane through all these years?
I guess it was like home.
Okay.
And all my brothers and my mother and dad and grandmother were all members here. Great-grandma, I think.
So when did you become a Christian? Like, when were you baptized?
This is a guess,
Okay.
because we didn't get certificates like they get today. I think it was 12 years old, but we had about 50, I was thinking about 15 or 20 youngsters that age that were baptized all at one time. I don't mean all at one time, one at a time, but in the Smith's Pond, that's what it's called.
And who baptized you?
Let me see. It must have been Mr. Lipscomb.
You know, you've been teaching for a long time here at Gethsemane. You've been a Sunday. How long have you been a Sunday school teacher here?
Nobody wrote the date down, and I didn't either. I don't know.
You don't know. So it's been.
I think I had started working after finishing school. I think it was around 20 or 21, something like that.
What made you teach Sunday school for that long? How come a lot of people would take a break or choose to stop after a while? Why do you continue to teach Sunday school?
I like children, especially the little ones. And I don't know, I felt that they needed, not especially me, but they needed people to fill the classrooms and fill the place of new teachers, because some would, like you say, some would teach a few years and move on to something else.
Can you tell me about a struggle or a trial that you've gone through in your life that God has brought you through and how you dealt with that?
The only real thing that I remember was when my father died. And my sister and I was two youngest ones, and we always stick with him everywhere, because he used to love hunting. He'd ride his horse hunting, and in the afternoon, when it's coming home, we'd watch for him, and then we'd run down to where he'd stop. He'd see us coming, he'd stop and put us up on the horse with him, and we'd ride to the house. That's one of the memories of him. But he was a good father, and he loved his children.
How do you think God helped you through that loss?
Well, my mother was pretty strong, and my brothers too, so altogether we made it fine. And the neighbors and everybody was good at that time, but we had to do a little pushing to get things done, but we did.
And a lot of people comment on your sense of humor and how happy you are all the time. How are you able to be so joyful all the time?
You wouldn't believe this, but I was very quiet when I went to school. I was scared to death of the teacher. But I don't know, just being around people who had good personalities and willing to talk and, just have a good time. So.
You know, there's been a lot of changes here at Gethsemane over the many years that you've been here, and I'm sure you probably didn't agree with all the changes that happened. Why is it that you stuck with Gethsemane all these years despite those changes?
Because this was like my home. We didn't go to church. We never had any problems. My mother and father never had any problems with us, 6 children. We didn't tell her we didn't want to go to church. they got ready to go to church, we did it. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. They weren't that strict, but they knew that we should go to church along with them. I would say pray about it first and discuss with your minister, your youth minister, and leaders of the church. And sometimes a companion, another girl, another friend could help you with things like that if you discuss it with them. But you have to be serious about it, I think. This is not fun when you're trying to be a Christian and, being baptized and everything.
You've interacted with a lot of students, and a lot of those students have grown up to be teenagers. What's just some life advice that you would give teenagers for today?
Think about the Lord. He's with you, and you trust Him. You'll have to trust Him. And just watch what you do and choose good friends. Sometimes you can get mixed up with the wrong person. And that sometimes turns it bad, doesn't it?
How would you describe your relationship with God?
As the youngsters say, awesome. No, I've always been to church. Like I said, I never said, none of my brothers or sisters ever told their parents that they didn't want to go to church. And that's something to think about, isn't it? So I think you just work hard at it, and you just get it in your system that this is what you're supposed to do. And the Lord will help you. Trust in the Lord.